Today we're painting Bolt Action Soviet Infantry in this Tabletop Plus tutorial. We'll start with a quick battle-ready result using Army Painter Speedpaints, and then focus on a few extra details later on to push the miniature a little further. We'll also take a look at the distinctive blue tones of the NKVD, and even paint up their four-legged companion to add a bit more character to the force. The miniature has been primed with a white undercoat, and before getting onto the main colours, let's add a bit of early wear to the helmet, using deep grey and a small piece of sponge. Just lightly dab this around the helmet, and these darker areas will show up underneath when we apply our speed paint later on. The same effect was added to the megaphone for our NKVD infantrymen. After sponging on the weathering effect, the helmet and the cape were painted using a camo cloak speed paint. Soviet troops were typically equipped with the SSH-40 steel helmet, though the exact shade could vary depending on where it was produced and also natural wear and tear. This green tone will contrast nicely with the rest of the uniform later on, and with these items being exposed to the elements, a bit of natural variation in the finish will work well here. The cape itself was given a second layer of camo cloak speed paint, just to make the colour a little bit more intense, but also darken down those recesses a little bit more. Now onto the tunic and trousers using ochre clay. This gives us a quick classic Soviet khaki tone, and these were mass-produced and designed for function over form, so fading and variation was very common. This is a great stage to just work your way around the model and let the speed paint do the work. It will not only give us the overall colour of the uniform, but the paint will also sink into the recesses and give us some shading at the same time. If you would like to add some variety to your force, the NKVD provide a great contrast. These troops were often tasked with internal security, policing and rear-line duties, but they also saw combat roles. Their uniforms feature more distinctive blue tones, which can be achieved using a Beowulf blue speed paint, and this was applied to the miniature's trousers and also the hat. The boots for our Soviet infantry were picked out with a grim black speed paint, and the same colour was also used for the visor on the hat for our NKVD. Let this paint dry fully to see how dark this black will be, and if you wish you can add a second layer to make it even darker. For the face and hands, apply some Crusader Skin speed paint. This one is quite a subtle colour compared to other speed paints, so let this one fully dry before deciding if you would like to add a second layer if needed. For this miniature, a second layer was added, and this just helped boost that colour a bit more. And at this stage, don't worry if you get some of this paint on the straps or the weapon itself, as we're going to be painting over these areas next. The rifle stock is painted using a dark wood, representing the weapons like the Most Nagant rifle, which was one of the most widely used firearms by the Red Army. These rifles featured wooden stocks which would often darken and wear over time, so this darker brown colour is perfect to pick out the colour of this rifle. Again, do not worry if you get any of this paint on the metal areas or the strap, as we'll be painting those in a moment. Switching over to a fine detail brush now, the weapon strap was then picked out using a Dusty Skull Warpaint. This Fanatic paint was preferred over a lighter coloured speed paint as it has a better coverage and it hides any mistakes, such as the skin tone previously going on the strap. Sticking with the fine detail brush and the Fanatic Warpaints range, Brigandine Brown was then used to pick out the smaller areas, such as the belt, additional straps, and the canteen. The canteen was a standard piece of kit, often carried in a simple cover attached to the belt. So giving this one a slightly richer tone helps it stand out without drawing too much attention to it. However, for the NKVD hat, the colour banding around the base of the hat was picked out using a beret maroon paint. and this added a strong visual contrast to the rest of the model. The final details to base coat at this stage are the metals for the rifle and the smaller details like on the belt and the strap buckles. Just be sure to take your time here, especially around the rifle, as that is the most prominent part of the model when you view it from the front. After the metals were picked out, these areas were then shaded using a dark tone. This settles into the nooks and crannies of the sculpt, and it also tones down that shine a bit, giving the weapon a more realistic used appearance. For the flesh, a warm skin tone was applied. This will help define those facial features by settling into the recesses like the eyes and the mouth. It's a nice quick step, and it also adds more depth and overall colour to the skin tones. Finally, Voodoo Shade. This was applied over the tunic, the trousers and the straps. This deepens the colour of the folds in the cloth and adds a slightly more worn look to the overall colour. Perfect for our troops that have spent long stretches out in the field. Overall, we have a more gritty looking finish to the uniform. So this is a nice, quick and effective paint job. But if you would like to take it a step further, let's move on to the Tabletop Plus stage and add some details. Firstly, let's start by adding a bit more interest to the helmet using camouflage green, and a small piece of sponge. Like what we did with the deep grey at the very start of the video, we're going to gently dab this over the helmet to create some wear and tear, as if it's picked up different knocks and scrapes over time. There's no need to be too precise here, just keep it light and random. Next, we'll work on the cloak using army green. First, this can be applied more softly as a kind of blended layer using a larger rounded brush, just to bring some of that richness back into the cloth after the speed paint stage. You just need a light touch here and gradually let that colour build up. Then, switching over to a detail brush and still using the same colour, start to pick out the raised folds and edges of the cloth with a highlight. The army green colour helps bring the cloth to life and gives a slightly worn, field-used look. And now onto the tunic. Using a mid-battle dress paint, which has been slightly thinned down with some Warpaint stabilizer, this was applied to the raised areas and the edges to lift the overall tone slightly. Soviet uniforms would often fade and shift in colour over time, so this lighter layered colour suggests that type of effect. We're not looking at creating perfect highlighting here, but more of a colour tone shift with the thin layers of paint. You can compare the difference between this and the NKVD model here, which is yet to have the mid-battle dress paint applied. For the NKVD, an alpha blue paint was used to pick out the trousers and the hat. However, this time a straight highlight was used to pick out the folds in the cloth for that sharper look, compared to the thinned down layered paint approach that we used for the tunic in the previous stage. To increase the visual detail on the rifle stock, this was highlighted with a leather brown. Using a fine detail brush, just catch the edges and also add thin lines to bring out the shape of the wood. It's a small step, but it really helps to separate it from the darker coloured base underneath. Following that, the weapon straps were then highlighted with a Tomb King tan, this time focusing more on the top edges. Visually, it makes it quite interesting when looking at the model from the front. For a bit of extra definition, a highlight of onyx skin is used on the strap, as well as the belt equipment like the canteen. This brown colour is a slightly different tone to the brown on the wood and also the tunic colour. And this will help add some extra contrast, especially where the different pieces of equipment overlap. The black boots are given a subtle highlight using deep grey. Here we're concentrating mainly on the toes and the edges, following the curvature of the sculpt, where natural wear and tear would occur. Finally, working on the skin. This was highlighted with the agate skin and a fine detail brush. Mainly focusing our efforts on the raised areas of the face, like the nose, cheeks and chin, as well as the knuckles and the fingertips on the hands. This helps bring the face to life and gives the miniature a bit more character, especially when viewed at arm's length. We can even go one step further and pick out the teeth at this point on this sculpt's open mouth. And this will just add a bit of extra easy detail, and for that we used Tomb King Tan. So now that's our 2 basic infantry complete, including our NKVD variant, and now onto our 4-legged friend. Dogs played a variety of roles in the Soviet army during the war, from messenger and guard duties to mine detection, and even more specialised, let's say, anti-tank roles. They were valued for their ability to move across terrain that could be difficult for normal soldiers. For this model, start with a hardened leather speed paint as a base coat across the fur. Once this first layer has dried, a second was used underneath the body to create some subtle shading. Then begin building some variation on the hair. Using Satchel Brown, this was layered over the raised areas towards the top part of the model, leaving the lower section lighter. This will give us some transition between the lighter and darker colours. Adding a few touches of grim black to the areas like the top of the back, the ears and around the nose will give the coat a darker transition for the colours. But it will also make the final appearance more interesting with a bit of variety. And next, a light dry brush of leather brown will be applied. This will catch the texture of the sculpt and really bring out the detail in the fur. By not applying too much pressure and keeping it light, you can build up this colour gradually. Remember that it's always easier to add more than to take away. For the smaller details, like the harness and straps, Dusty Skull was a base coat to these areas to make them stand out over the darker fur. And the same paint was slightly diluted with water to make it more translucent, and it was then used to pick out a few highlights for the facial features and the legs, helping to define the shape and draw a bit more attention to those features. Lastly, soft tone was added to all of the strapping to shade them back and knock back that beige colour slightly. And with that, the Soviet infantry are ready for the tabletop. Quick to paint with plenty of characterful details in the box, including our loyal 4-legged companion and the option of building the NKVD for your army.